This
Can't believe
conference
it's
will now
the
be recorded.
I can't believe it's the end of August and we're talking about events that are going to be held with the weather being cooler. So I hope everyone's enjoyed their summer so far. I personally think it's been one of the best ones we've had. We've had a little bit of rain, but temperature-wise, it's been a pretty good summer. I've enjoyed it. So we've got our founder and chief visionary officer. If you don't know who that is, that's Dr. Ivan Meisner. A little over 35 years ago, he came up with this concept of growing business by way of referral. And it's amazing where we've come to today. And for the past, I believe, 6 years, we've had as our CEO with BNI Global, Graham Weimiller, who's been leading the way and helping BNI get even better. I personally am David Driscoll. I'm the regional director now for BNI of the Ozarks. I've gotten to meet quite a bit of you. I've been traveling the past few weeks, and it's been pretty awesome to see all the different chapters, all the different cultures, all the different people. And I've learned one thing: everyone's in BNI because of the relationships. And it's been pretty cool to see the ones that have been built and see what's been happening with chapters as they're growing. So keep up the good work. I just wanted to highlight who our area directors are. Hopefully you recognize these people. If you don't, then you should be seeing them more frequently in the future. We have Casey Howell with our Columbia and Lake of the Ozarks chapters. Winnie DeWitt covers our Northwest Arkansas area. We also have Angie Johnson Posey. She takes care of Springfield and Joplin. Barbara Jackson takes care of Conway, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and Cape Girardeau, Missouri. She puts the most miles on her car out of anyone on the team. And then a picture all by himself is Dustin Latchford, who covers Central Arkansas, which is Little Rock and North Little Rock chapters. I just wanted to congratulate all the chapters members that have gotten into the 100% Club. We haven't highlighted this as much as we used to in the past. And I just wanted to thank the chapter members that have put forth the effort to get into the 100% Club. I personally remember the first time I got there, it was harder to get there than it was to stay there, at least for me personally. But I know the amount of effort that it goes into building the relationships and taking the time to get to know your members so that you can consistently have your referrals, your one-to-ones, your CEUs, all that stuff. So I just wanted to put these names up here. This is our list of the 100% Club for the Arkansas East region. And then here are people from John Snellgrove down to Valerie Wren, with several people in between. We have the Arkansas West region. And then for the Missouri Central, we have quite a few. We have chapters that have multiples of them. We even have enough so that we have a second page. So again, thank you to all the members. You guys are great leaders in your chapters. And we hope you continue to not only lead the way in your chapters, but receive the benefits of better relationships and more referrals for your business going forward. So we've had some pretty cool things going on for the month of August. I just wanted to share some pictures and stuff. So Angie Posey has some pictures here. Lebanon Elite Business had a launch party and an open house. And as you can tell, the room was packed. At the rate they're going to need a new meeting place pretty soon. But congratulations to them and all the work that they did to get that chapter off the ground. We also have had some more training that's been going on. We call this T3, thus the name Training the Trainers. And this is one that we did with the area directors Casey and Angie down in the Lake of the Ozarks area. And some people from Springfield came up. And it was really good. You guys are, the members and the leadership teams for the chapters are really going to see the benefits of this with the chapter success training we're doing in September. I just had to share this picture. Angie had somebody that knows how to rock a visitor report. This is a good example of following the traditions of BNI because the system works, but having a little fun with it. So I am happy to see that our members are able to have fun with our meeting agenda and have a good time networking. We also want to give a congratulations to BNI Powerhouse. These were taken actually yesterday. So they had their first visitor day, and as you can tell, they packed the house. So congratulations. I look forward to seeing the new members that they add because of this, and I know they've already planned another one. So good for them. And then this was really impressive to me. For those in the Springfield area and in, I think some might have attended all the way from Joplin, Angie had what is one of the largest leadership roundtables, if not the largest leadership roundtable attendance we've had. And we're really excited for the chapters going forward, because we're going to be doing some and learning some exciting things coming up here in the next few weeks. So just some few things we want to keep in mind. We might not know this, but if we do, this is just a reminder. So every week on Thursday from 11:30 a.m. to noon, there is a webinar held by Joe Kanak. And as you can tell, it's for new member onboarding. Again, this is every week on Thursday. This would be pretty cool for chapters to share with the new members, and it really helps them discuss BNI Connect, the mobile app, BNI University, get through the what, why, and how. So BNI has really stepped up the game of education, because it's hard to have accountability without education. So I'm proud of the webinars being held. There's even one that's held every Friday. I've heard tons of feedback from members saying how great these webinars are, especially from new members. I've visited a few chapters this week, and a couple of new members were really impressed with these webinars. So, and congratulations to all the people that are on these. They had over 500 back in June, and I know it's been steadily going up. And the engagement has been fantastic too. There's an opportunity for you to ask questions, and some of the there's more than one moderator. Sorry about that. So they're able to respond to your questions and give you answers. I know they spoke the last one about the Black Badge member, or the Gold Club, if you've sponsored more than 6 members into BNI, and you'll be hearing more about that from your area directors. One of the other cool benefits on these webinars, they're 30 minutes, but because they're live, you get 1 CEU. So you can go into your app at BNI Connect and enter 1 CEU. So here are the upcoming webinars and the subjects for the next, or for the month of August. And as you can see there, we've got, let's see, contact spheres, then getting participation from all members. They're going to be rolling out the full details of the Gold Club program reveal, where we're really going to be celebrating the members that have done so much to help grow our chapters. We've got diversity equals opportunity, and then meeting with current and incoming leadership teams. We want to let you guys know that we still have interest groups happening in these areas. We actually have some interest popping up in some other areas. I believe Harrison, Arkansas is another one that's added to this. So I get lots of requests, and so do several members of the team, from people that are in categories that usually are already filled in BNI. So we have people that want to start new chapters because they see what you guys get out of BNI. And since they can't join your chapter, they want to start their own. So if you know of any people in these areas that would be a good fit for BNI chapter, we would appreciate an introduction to them, and we can see if they can work with the people that are starting the groups in these towns. If you missed it, there's automated attendance letters. So they go out as soon as the POMS report is closed for the chapters. And keep in mind they're automated. I'm not at home typing these letters. So I appreciate everyone's response to them, but they are definitely automated. I do appreciate when people let me know where the automated letter might have gone out in error, so I can look at the system and make sure that everything is working right. So we've had a few people that have said they shouldn't have gotten a letter, and they have written me that, and I appreciate the opportunity to try to fix that and make sure these letters are going out the way they should. Want to let everyone know, so MSP training, it's member success program, and we want to make sure that when you're in your chapters, that those who need to get MSP done, it's announced with the member report or in the announcements each week. And I strongly recommend that you actually put people's names up on the slide and actually say their names and get their attention during the meeting. The reason I say that is there's studies that are pretty conclusive that if a new member completes MSP within the first month of their membership, the odds of renewing increase dramatically. And more importantly, it helps them understand a little bit more as to what they have joined. We understand that they've joined BNI and they know some people and they understand the referrals and the networking part, but there's still a lot that goes into it. And MSP really helps them understand the basics and just helps them feel more part of the group and not lost, so that as their first year of membership goes through, they have a much better chance of not only building those strong relationships, but getting a return on their investment so they can see the benefits of BNI. So please make sure that you're mentioning the MSP training during your announcements in the chapter each week. We want to let everyone know we're going to have a couple of screenshots here. So the website, we are constantly making changes to it and updating it. So your area directors are working on letting you know when those updates happen. We have the ability now to pay by e-check, which is pretty cool. So we don't have to send in paper checks. We know this doesn't solve the situation of sending in checks for everybody. We know that some corporations just send it into BNI. We just want to make sure they send it to the right address and make sure our checks are made out to BNI Global. We know we still have a few that have gone to BNI Mid-America. We want to make sure that they go to BNI Global. And they want to send them to the right address, which should be in North Carolina. But we also have a PayPal option. If they have a PayPal account, they have the ability to pay through that as well. But for the e-check, as you notice, they would go to, this is the BNI of the Ozarks page, pay online, and they can click on the click by credit card or e-check, and then they'll go to this page and they can select bank account and then enter the check information. We want to make sure that those of you who are, especially vice presidents, but on the regional website is a tab called Member and LT Resources or Leadership Team. So we want to make sure that when you're doing anything, please go to this website, click on that link, and don't go to the Zendesk anymore. Start entering stuff here, and it's going to be much easier with everything being here in one place. And if you notice from that screenshot, it's amazing the amount of resources we have here. If you need any advice, please ask your area director, and they'll be more than happy to give you some advice on that. So with BNI automating things to make it easier on leadership teams to keep track of stuff, we want to keep in mind that as of the 1st of this month, this system is automated on processing late fees. So this is the importance of reminding people that they have renewal dates coming up 3 months out. We don't want people to be surprised the day before that they have to pay to renew, because once they've been late a day, it automatically adds a $50 late fee for them to renew. And we want to avoid as many late fees as possible. We've got, if day 1 through 15, they won't notice anything other than when they go to renew, there's an extra $50 to pay. Once day 16 hits, they're going to notice something because their BNI Connect access will be denied. So it's what we're calling a soft drop. It's just to kind of remind them again that they need to renew and pay the late fee. What we definitely want to avoid is happening on day 32. That's when their membership expires and it's automated. So once that happens, they not only have to pay the membership fee for the year, but now they have to pay the new application fee of $199. So leadership teams, we're depending on you to make sure that those renewal dates are kept track of and remind the members. And we want to make sure that our members are getting enough out of BNI so that they want to renew. So we don't want to be talking to them the day or two before. We want to be constantly checking with our members and making sure that BNI is working for them. And if it's not, What can we do to help to make it a better part of their business? So for the past several weeks, for that Train the Trainer program, all of this is basically coming to one big month of events. We have listed here what we now call Chapter Success Training. Used to be Fall Training, but now it's Chapter Success Training, so CST, another acronym to keep track of. We have all the dates and locations here. If you need more details, please contact your area director, but you'll be able to go right now. All but one of these is on the BNI of the Ozarks website under events. You can go to the specific date and you can register. We would really appreciate it if everyone would go register. It will make our job much easier, and it will make check-in much easier at the event period. Like I said, if you have any questions or you're wondering who should register, please contact your area director. And if you don't know yet, with Chapter Success Training this year, we're inviting everybody from president through membership, mentor team, the 4 chairs of membership, the visitor host. We're inviting everyone. And we're encouraging everyone to please go to BNI University. You should have been assigned some pre-learning. And my little saying for this year is the average person going into Chapter Success Training this year will be more knowledgeable than the average person coming out of Chapter Success Training last year. It's pretty cool how we've integrated BNI University and a live training to get all the information about how to run an effective chapter meeting and how to really generate referrals and business for every chapter. And if you haven't noticed, headquarters from BNI should have sent the secretary treasurer and the president an invoice so that we can cover the cost of these trainings. So now we're going to get into the topic for the month, which is benefits and wisdom from outgoing leadership. Now, we have many on the call today who have been in past leadership positions. I know me personally, I was president, I think 4 years ago in my chapter. I also served as one of the membership seats, or as we used to call it, the head of membership. And it was pretty awesome being able to speak to the outgoing leadership to get some advice and some best practices and what challenges might come up and how to handle them and get that advice from these people. So we have some people on the call that we're going to reach out to today. We have Dina Williams, and then we have Barbara Jackson, and then we might have some others. I know Winnie is on the call. We're basically just going to ask them some questions about some things that worked well in the past. Are there any challenges that they faced, and what advice they would give to incoming leadership? So if they can unmute themselves, we're going to give our attention and talk to Dina Williams a little bit. She's in the Bigger Net Income chapter down in Springfield, Missouri, and she's one of our outgoing BNI chapter presidents. Dina, can you hear us?
I'm trying to unmute her. There she goes. Dana, I believe you have access now.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning. So one of my biggest, I guess, what worked well or what kind of like an overall idea is that, and it seems really simple, but you really set the tone for your chapter, and that's not just the meetings. So you want to be really positive in the meetings, but also, kind of leading by example, and people will follow that. So, I had talked to a past president who's been a member for 12, 13 years when I went into leadership, and he was like, you got to get to the meetings early. If you start coming early, other people are going to start coming early. It's like it's the little things. If you're on your phone during the meeting, your other members are going to be on the phone during the meeting. And so I think, just staying super positive and setting a good example, even if there's a BNI event or policy that maybe you personally would do differently or don't agree with, don't ever show that. Just support the system, and that trickles down, and it just sets the whole attitude for the whole year.
I appreciate that honest comment, because I remember as president, we're all entrepreneurs and we go, why are we doing this? This this makes no sense. And
Yeah.
yeah, that is what happens as entrepreneurs. We see some of these B&I policies, and sometimes we don't see the benefit of it until it's been a while.
Right. And it's just, if you are supporting the policies and putting them into place, then the rest of your chapter will. And, obviously they've been proven, so they're going to work. But, if you just show one bit of negativity about anything, about another member, about a policy, about, anything, then it just spreads. So if you can just stay positive, stay professional, it sets the whole tone for the chapter.
Well, I know you've done a great job down there. Angie, your area director, has said what a wonderful job you've done. So I really appreciate that. It takes a lot to not just volunteer to be a leader for a chapter, but you've got a bunch of people that are counting on you to lead the way so that they can make B&I a part of their business. And I appreciate the work that you've done. Are there any specific challenges that you've had in the past year that you might have some advice on how to handle, or something that you might think would come up for incoming leadership?
There's kind of two things. So for me specifically, when I came into the role, I came into a situation, there was two things that I wasn't expecting. Number one, our actual account was in the red, and because we had some accounting issues that had gone unseen. So, that was just as simple as addressing it, finding out the problem, and empowering the secretary to get over and handle it. Working with them, but allowing to delegate that out, and that we got that cleared up. We renegotiated at the place that we meet, and it all ended up working out well. But just being aware of that, and empowering the right people to make the decisions to get us back in the green where we needed to be. And then the other part of it was, we had a bunch of turnover in leadership in the very beginning, and it wasn't due to anything. We had people that changed jobs or moved, and it was kind of a lot because two of them were in leadership positions. But what I would say about that is, you just roll with it. Don't panic. Don't ever show panic. Your visitors don't know that if you had a change in leadership, that's not the same person that was there 2 weeks ago. So I would just say, just kind of get everything into place, stay calm, look to people who have experience, and don't ever show any kind of negativity in the meeting at all. Because people don't know. If there's a business matter that you needed to hash or to let your chapter know, I would do that in an email. You don't want to ever stand up there in front of visitors and really say anything negative. So we just kind of worked through it, and it was seamless. It behind closed doors, I was kind of freaking out. Like, what are we going to do? Who am I going to put in this position? This person just got trained, but you don't show anybody else that, and it all worked out beautifully. So
yeah, it's usually I find that it's easy to stress out, and it's seldom as big of a deal as I think it is. So those are some great insights. I like the fact that you talk about being positive at the meeting. I tried to view it as B&I was my best client. They were bringing me the most business for my company. So if I was in front of any other of my best clients, I wouldn't be letting them know how rough of a morning I had or how stressed out I was. I would put on my best face. And so go outside and smile, come back in and interact with your members. and have a good
Exactly.
meeting.
And newer members, they don't ever want to see, they're looking to leadership. This is all new to them. And if leadership looks panicked or nervous, even if you have some members leave or your numbers are going down, find the positive in it. Because they'll look to you, and if you are panicking or nervous, they're going to feel that same thing and think, what did I get myself into? But if you just play it off and everything's positive and you spin it positively, it usually follows that direction.
Very good. Well, I appreciate again all your effort. I know Angie Johnson does, and I know your chapter members do. Thanks for serving as president this year, and we look forward to helping the incoming leadership with success training to make things even better this year.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
So we also have Barbara Jackson on the call. So we're going to ask her. You might have been on the call earlier. We were talking about Barbara being in the role of Secretary Treasurer a few years ago. Barbara, could you share with us some of your insights as to being leadership in the past?
Absolutely. I know that whenever me and the other two vice president, secretary, treasurer, and the president got together, we're like, okay, we are so pumped. We're excited. We didn't know that some of the the tricks of the trade and running a successful BNI chapter. We didn't know all the tools were out there until we went to the actual training. And so we came back and we were very energized. And our chapter did, my home chapter did grow um, by several members after that. The secretary treasurer is just keeping on top of the bills, making sure that we verify that the visitors are there, making sure that we do everything that we're supposed to do behind the scenes, sending out those meeting notes, and communicating with the chapter. I know where we did have a huge lax is when we were introducing our keynote speaker for the day. We really want to celebrate those people that are diving into their business, telling everybody and giving them that extra time and saying, hey, this is what I do, this is what sets me apart. And so just doing a proper introduction for those people, because if you have visitors in the room, this is their chance to make a really good impression on what sets them apart from their competitors. And so we do want to welcome them.
That's interesting that you brought that up. I've had that conversation just this week of the importance of filling out your bio sheet for your introduction.
Mm,
The members in the chapter know who you are. They know how good you are. But the average visitor who the meeting is for, if you're the plumber, they just know you're another plumber. And the bio is a great opportunity to let them know how many years in business, what they've done for the chapter, really introduce them as a speaker. As if you got a president of another organization coming in, you know how they do intro and bio, they really establish that person and lend credibility to them. And that's a great opportunity for the secretary treasurer to lend credibility to the member as they introduce them with the bio.
absolutely. The bio can be a huge, it can be huge. It really tells people some of the things you forget because it does go line by line saying how long, what are some of your hobbies, because this really gets everybody in the room to know who this person is on a deeper level, not just what their category is and what they do. It really dives into who the person is.
Excellent. So do you have any, um, let's see here, is there any challenges you faced and how you dealt with it that you'd like to share?
So it has been a couple years since I was the secretary treasurer, and I know that banking practices are a little bit different, and most chapters don't have a checkbook, so to speak. I would highly suggest when you switch your leadership that you will pick a time where the president, the secretary treasurer, old and new, incoming and outgoing, can meet and go to the bank together. There needs to be two debit cards. The president needs one, the secretary treasurer needs one. I know that when we did have checks, some of them are set up where they require two signatures. Um, just be very transparent with your bank account. So when those bank statements, make sure they're going to the correct address. I know that I did not see bank statements for like 3 months, and we had no idea what address was they were going to. So we couldn't even figure out where they were being mailed to. So those are a few challenges that you kind of let slip through the cracks. But it's address changes and getting new debit cards with the new leadership's names on it.
Yeah, that would be a challenge. Going a out. Wow. So yeah, so that's what I like about what we're doing upcoming. I know in the past, a lot of leadership as the chapter goes, after a few months of after October, a lot of leadership teams are feeling like most of the work fell on the president, vice president, and secretary treasurer. And I appreciate all the work that they did and the people that did that. But going forward, more people in the chapter are going to be involved and the roles are going to be better defined so that the bulk of the work doesn't fall on three people. Um, and that's going to be pretty, I'm excited about that for getting to be able to go through that this year in chapter success training. Any other advice you'd give to incoming secretary treasurers or anybody else in leadership?
All three positions, I would say sit down and talk to the person who's outgoing, pick their brain, because everybody can make a list of, hey, this I think we did really well. This I think we struggled in. I would have a brief conversation before training and then definitely have one after training because it's going to prompt more questions after you've been through the chapter success training. Um, and just don't be afraid to reach out to your support. Your predecessors are your support, and also your ambassadors, your support directors, your area directors. They're all there to help. So if you have any questions, the one of the worst things you can do is try to figure it all out yourself when you have a list of people that you can contact for support and help. And it may be just bouncing ideas off of one another, and you come to that conclusion yourself, but somebody that you can just use as a sounding board is a huge help.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. We are going to, so we also have Angie Posey, and then we're going to go to Winnie after that. But Angie, if you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep. How's your morning going?
Good morning. It's raining here in Springfield. So,
Same here in Columbia. So what leadership role were you in the past?
I've served as president, mentor, and a couple of other things over the years. Um, One thing that I wanted to talk with our leaders about is just visitors. When Dina was on, they did a fabulous job. In fact, their chapter is notorious for having, on a regular basis, 8 to 12 visitors in their room, and they came to me asking how they weren't converting anybody though, and we looked at their system and just figured out that we weren't doing very much or very good follow up. And once they started doing follow up with their program, they started adding, and they started adding strategically as well. So that's really helped their chapter to grow the past few months. It hadn't been some big boom of influx of people, but it's been consistent, one or two a month, and they're doing a really nice job with their follow up.
Oh, awesome.
The other visitor issue I wanted to talk this morning about is my home chapter. Actually, my old home chapter came to me and said, we're not growing. And um, I first always ask, well, are we inviting visitors? And that was a no, I don't think we are. So one of the things that has been really successful, it's a very simple thing that I've used over the years, and many chapters who've made a great comeback can attest to it, is putting 20 minutes of inviting time in your calendars and asking your members to do that, following up with your members to make sure they're doing that. I always say if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist and you're not going to do it. So those two simple things can make a huge difference to the growth in your chapter and the amount of visitors you have in your room.
Very good. Yeah. just expecting to work without being intentional is like walking into the gym and looking at the weights and then leaving, wondering why you're not getting in shape.
You've
So,
been watching my workouts? Stop that.
I got a question for you. I haven't prepped you for this.
It's okay.
What I hear from a lot of presidents is their goal is to get everyone in the chapter bought in. Like they want everyone involved. Any suggestions on how you accomplish that?
Absolutely. I would take a tenured member that has had great success in BNI and partner those with maybe people that are in that no man's gray area on the power of one report or the red. And if you've accomplished those two, go to your yellow. But taking a very seasoned member that's had a lot of success and asking them to personally maybe mentor this person and show can be a huge help in just bringing that member up to speed or up to having a higher standard for themselves.
Excellent advice. Yeah, leadership using the chapter to help the chapter instead of doing it all themselves.
Yeah, I think as tenured members, and I'm guilty as well, we all need to be a little more conscious of the fact that we've had great success in BNI, and that doesn't mean we can sit back on our laurels and watch the new people do it. It means we should reach out and mentor them so they get acclimated to the system quicker and they become a better referral partner for us, not to mention growing their own business.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it for me this morning.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
So on deck is Winnie DeWitt, our area director down in Northwest Arkansas with Bentonville, Fayetteville, Rogers, that area. Winnie, how are you this morning?
Good morning. Doing good this morning. It's raining here as well.
Like we haven't had enough rain this year.
Yeah. Very, very rainy summer.
So anything that you've seen work well, either personally or as you've visited the chapters, that you'd like to share?
Yes, the year that I was president, we set out on a target marketing strategy, and we used that strategy to fill the categories that we wanted to fill in our chapter. So again, it was a very purposeful, targeted way of filling the categories that we wanted to fill. So I think that, we're all here for growing our chapters and our referral partners and that sort of thing. And we can do it by being very specific, just like we're supposed to do in our weekly presentations. The more specific we are, I think the better we do, even in inviting.
Very good. Ivan Meisner is famous for saying specific is terrific.
That's right. It works for
any specific challenges you've noticed and a good way to handle them?
I think that right now it's just supporting the chapters and getting them, up to speed with what all they can do and connect BNI University and through the website, and just showing them that it's not hard. You can get in there, you can do it, and that you've got all the support you need. Like Barbara and Angie have said, there's a lot of support there for you. So getting them up to speed and just letting them know that we're here and we're going to help them grow too.
I'm glad you said that. That's what I've been most excited about in traveling. Letting the chapters know that we have the amount of support and what we're going to be able to do to help the chapters, and how we're going to do it is going to be dramatically differently than in years past. And the training that's gone into the regional team to get this done. I know the area directors, myself, support directors, ambassadors have gone through more training than they have in a while, and the feedback's all been really good. Everyone's pretty excited to help the chapters keep moving in the direction that they want to. So I'm pretty excited about that. It was great to spend the week with your team down there, and I think everyone's ready to go.
We are, and we enjoyed having you, Dave.
Well, thanks. So if you are an incoming person for leadership, I appreciate you either volunteering or being voluntold. But I'm hoping that everyone volunteered. Um, and we appreciate the fact that you've already shown leadership in the past. And that's why you'll be great in the role going forward. A couple of pieces of advice that I have. Um, you're probably the person that's going to be hardest on yourself. Um, your members are going to appreciate the work that you're doing for them. Even though you'll end up hearing some complaints and some gripes, and you'll hear some people that don't think BNI is working for them, uh, as a rule, your members really appreciate the fact that you are taking the lead and helping them, and they're looking to you for direction. So you have a great opportunity. You've already demonstrated some leadership skills in the past. They're looking for you to expand on those. And when this is done right, I know for me personally, it was the best year I had in business. Um, because I had the opportunity to work closely with all the members, with the leadership team, and we got to be really intentional as to what we wanted to do to grow the chapter. And my business benefited so much from it. And I hear that story so many times um, from the leaders in these chapters. So I really hope that that's going to be your experience. And we've worked really hard to ensure that that happens this year. The training that we're doing for chapter success training in the fall, I've been saying the word training because that's what we've been calling it. We are not going to be training you. So you're hearing it maybe for the first time here. You're coming to an event, but there is no manual that we are going to hand out and read to you or flip through and go over certain pages. You should have all gotten your pre-learning in BNI University, and if you haven't, please reach out to your area director. It is vital that that gets done. Your pre-learning is going to cover a lot of the what to do's. What we are going to do at Chapter Success Training is facilitate. So we're going to be way more facilitators than trainers. We are actually going to do little workshops and demonstrations and actually have everyone practice how to do some things that we do in BNI that make chapters successful. And that's why I'm very confident saying the outgoing leadership or the outgoing leadership is going to be jealous of all the extra training that you're going to get. The incoming leadership now, by October 1st, you'll be able to hit the ground running like never before. We're pretty excited to be able to give that to you guys and get some feedback. The other thing is this is still kind of new, so I appreciate all the enthusiasm the members have. I know to a person, all the area directors, all the support directors, ambassadors, those that are doing the trainings, the facilitating, are really excited going into this September to help all the chapters. Keep in mind that it is our first time going through it too. We're practicing, we're going through the information, but this is our first live presentation of the information. So we appreciate your patience as we go through it, and we really need your feedback. Please give us your feedback if you think something is working or not working. If you have a suggestion as to something that might help, we really would appreciate it. We can't get better at our job if we don't know what's not working, and we don't know what to continue if we don't hear that it is working. So we appreciate all the feedback that we've gotten so far, and we hope we continue to get it. Barbara, as moderator, if you see anybody else on the page that would like to share some experience, they can put up their hand or make a comment, and we'd be more than happy. I'll just go through some announcements, give people a chance to chime in or put up their hand if they want to comment. We just want to keep in mind.
I
Go ahead.
believe Shelly has, she says, will I be able to talk via phone rather than computer? So I think Shelly has something to add. Shelly Craft.
All right.
So Shelly, I have you listed on here twice, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to unmute here.
You got a
Shelly,
50 shot.
yeah, I got a 50-50 shot. I unmuted both of them, and they're self-muted. So Shelly, if you had something you would like to add, you are self-muted, but if you're on the phone, I'm not sure who caller 3 is and caller 5. I just unmuted both of those. So Shelly, can you say something?
I guess
Okay.
if she's not able to, she can enter her question or comment into the chat, and we
Okay.
can see. But Shelly, yeah, if there's a way to unmute yourself, we'd love to hear what your comments are. So just some announcements. Fridays, we have the Friday webinar series. So we saw that earlier. We also have the Member Success Program training. If you're having trouble with that, talk to your area director or somebody in your chapter that should know, president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. The mentor team should be good at that. But you want to get this Member Success Program from BNI University. You want to log in with your BNI Connect username and password. And for those of you that don't know, Member Success Program has been streamlined dramatically from the first time. I believe it was 5.5 hours the first time, and I believe now people are saying it's taking them on the average about 2 hours. And the feedback we're getting from new members is that it's really beneficial. As it's nothing earth-shattering, but it is some very good information, some basics. And even for existing members, it's some good reminders as to some of the basics. Because we have all the chapter success trainings in September, we will have no roundtable that month. And then keep in mind, the week that you have your chapter success training, you will not have a chapter meeting that week. So that's an opportunity to use that time to maybe have an extra one-to-one. I know some chapters actually, a bunch of them go out for breakfast or do something, or it's an opportunity to sleep in because everyone will think you're at BNI. So use that time to the best of your ability. And we look forward to seeing everyone at chapter success training. And for those of you on the call, we hope that this information got you pumped up and excited for chapter success training. We would appreciate it if you would take it back to your chapters and get everyone excited for coming to this training, facilitating this information that's really going to help our chapters improve. And I believe our region is going to see a dramatic effect, not only on membership, because it's not about just adding members. That's great if we add members to a chapter. It's way more about the growth and the strength of the chapter, doing it the right way. We don't just want to fill seats. We want the relationships to get even better in the groups that we have. And when we add people, we want to add people that complement our chapter, not just take up space. So we're really going to be focusing on that this year and be intentional. And our support directors are going to be instrumental in helping you guys really get to where you want to go with your chapter. So Barbara, was she able to make a comment or call in?
No.
No? Okay. So unless anybody have any final thoughts? As we've been talking, anybody thought of something else that would be good for leadership to keep in mind? Don't keep all your secrets to yourself now.
Don't forget to ask for help.
So that's an interesting one. I know when I was president of my chapter, it was the hardest thing for me was to delegate because I owned my own business. I had my crew taking care of a lot of stuff, so I could set my schedule as I wanted. So it was easy for me to say, well, I'll just do it. I've got time to do it. And I found out after a few months that there were people in the chapter that wanted to do stuff, and by me doing it all myself, I wasn't allowing them to help the chapter become better leaders and help our chapter be stronger. So that's a great point, Barbara. I would strongly recommend that as a president, your main role is to trust but verify. Like, let people do their positions, lead them, but don't do it for them. We've got some great entrepreneurs, some great leaders coming into these positions, and we want to let them gain the benefits of being able to lead and help their business grow as well. So thanks for that reminder, Barbara. Well, that is it for our webinar. I just want to conclude with this comment from one of my favorite speakers, Tony Robbins. Management is on getting someone to get a result. Leadership is producing a standard in someone that when you are gone, they will live by to produce higher level results consistently. So that's what we're going to do, especially starting next month with our chapter success trainings. And we look forward to all of your engagement, help, and feedback as we go through this. And we're really looking forward to October 1st when new leadership is able to guide the chapter the way that they want to and need to. So thank you for your time this morning, and hopefully the rain lets up and everyone enjoys their weekend. Have a good day.